Hello there, I'm Dennis, and in this video we're going to install Fedora Xfce Desktop. Let me minimize this, we will come back to it. I have it set up in my virtual box here. I've given it 4 gigabytes of RAM, 2 cores of my processor. I've enabled the EFI, and I give it 56.5 gigs of virtual hard disk. So I'm going to click on start and we'll get started. Alright. First function, it defaults to test the media, which is a good idea. If you've just burned a USB or a DVD and you're booting up to that, you need to test it. In this case, I tested my ISO when I got it. It's good. And you could go to troubleshooting, which we don't have any real reason to go to troubleshooting. Start Xfce Fedora in the basics graphic mode. I'm going to hit escape and get back because we don't really need to do that. And I'm going to hit enter on start Fedora Xfce. This is Fedora 33. This is one of their spin versions. You get the Control F just in case. Yeah. First guest box editions are installed. Alright, install to a hard drive. There's the installer right on the desktop. Meanwhile, we've got Anaconda. What is that? Failed to mount Anaconda. That must be on the ISO. Before we get too carried away, I'll just go ahead and get the installer started. Guest editions update available. That's okay. Okay, so it correctly selected English and English keyboard. That's cool. Select next, or continue, I should say. The keyboard is set right. The time and date, American Chicago. That is correct. Installation destination. Okay, system. Let us do anything with that first. Here we go. I'm going to say left click on that. Customize. Say done. Down at the lower left, we have a 56.5 gigabyte hard drive. I'm going to select plus. First partition will be boot EFI. I'm going to say 5112, capital M for megabytes. Add a mount point. Okay. Now we can click plus, and this will be our swap. So we'll select the swap mount point there, and desired capacity. I give it 56, so we'll say 6 gigabytes. That's a swap, so click add mount point. Alright, that gives us 50 gigs left. I'm going to select the plus button again. And I could be doing all of this stuff to start with. Alright, so this will be as I go. But this one will be root. And we'll just say we've got 25. We'll just say 22, capital G, and add the mount point. See, I could be going through these settings, but I'll come back through that. Alright, then the last one is going to be home. So it'll be /home. I'm going to leave the capacity blank because that should allow it to capture the rest of that. And we're going to add mount point. Alright, let that get finished. Let's start on the swap. 6 gigabytes, standard partition, swap. All that looks good. Nothing to update unless I give it a label, and I did. Click on update settings. When it gets through, you can go to the next one. This is the root part or boot partition, the boot EFI. It's 512. Standard partition, EFI system. We're going to say we'll call this ESP. We'll update the settings, lower right hand corner there. Alright, this is the mount point root. By default, selecting Btrfs, and I do not want Btrfs. I want a standard partition, and I want it formatted to ext4. This will be root. We'll update the settings. Alright, when it gets through, I can go to the home partition, /home, Btrfs. We want standard partition of an ext4, and we're going to give this a label of home. Now, you don't have to give them labels. It's just sometimes easier when you see a label that says what it is. Okay, so that's all the damage we can do in here. I'm going to say done. This is what it's going to do, a summary of the changes. Look them over. If you don't like it, click on right here where it says cancel and return to custom partitioning. But it did exactly what I wanted it to do. I'm going to say accept the changes. Now the caution flag is going away from there. So root password. All right. I'm going to use password, and it's going to tell me it's too short. I hope you can see it down at the bottom of the screen on the left-hand side there. It says the password is too short. You will have to press done twice to confirm it. And I can't make this screen I can't do anything with it. So I'm going to allow root SSH login with password. And I'm going to double click the done. And that should make it accept my password. I may have clicked it too fast. There we go. User creation. It says no user will be created. Well, I'm going to go ahead and create one. And that's going to be me. Dennis. Make this the administrator. That's right. Require a password to use this account. The password will be too short, I'm sure. In advanced here, that's user group, specific user ID manually. You can change their permissions there. You can add them to different groups. Will is sufficient. So I'm going to say cancel out of that. We didn't change anything. I'm going to say done. Oh, I got to do it twice. Password was too short. And there we go. So we've got a keyboard, our time and date, the installation description, formatting the hard drive, partition and formatting the hard drive. We've got a network and host name. We've got the root password and a user creation. So we're going to say begin the installation. Right now it's creating those partitions and formatting them. I'm going to control F to get out of full screen here. We'll open up my web browser. This is the Xfce Desktop. This is where you would go to get it. Well, let's go back to their home page, which is getfedora.org. Go back up to the top here, and this is what you'll see when you first get here. I said on another video, I'm impressed with their home page. It's simple, but yet it guides you to everywhere you need to go. If you have a question, there's a guide here. If you need an ISO, there's a guide here. But it's not so cluttered you just get lost. You could go with the workstation, and the official edition will be the GNOME desktop. You can get a server here, and you can also get the IoT. Scroll down, you can get Fedora Core OS is automatically updating minimal container focused operating systems, and Silver Blue, that's a container system. And if you scroll on down, want more Fedora options, you can get labs, alternate downloads, which I just did in my last video, the Fedora Net installer. But here you click on learn more about the Fedora spins. Here you'll have your options of the different desktops. KDE Plasma, mine of course, the Xfce, LXQT, the Mate Compiz desktop, Cinnamon desktop, LXDE desktop, and the SOAS desktop. There's actually even more. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And you can see they have an Explore Outer Space, Explore the Brain, Games, Design Suite, Jam, Python Classroom, Robotics Suite, Security Lab, and Scientific. So you just have a lot of, if you have a need, there's a lot of options to fill that need. I mean, a lot. And you can definitely tell that Fedora has been corporate for a while. Here is the Xfc Desktop. You click on that. On this page, it'll show you some screenshots, what it looks like. It gives you the download button. And it tells you a little bit about some of the system settings, what comes with it. Multimedia, Parole, that's the default Xfce video music player. That's Xfce. Let's see, go back to their home page real quick here. Well, I said, oh, I'm not. Got to click the right spot. So back to their home page. Magazine. alternate downloads, about, get Fedora, sponsors, Fedora magazine, get help, ask Fedora, common bugs. I want to get the wiki here. Let's see, I got that bookmarked. No, I don't. Okay. This is about the project, the wiki about the project. And it's telling you a little bit about, actually a lot. You see you got these blue highlighted spots you can click on and tell you more. Try docs, Fedora. Looking for documentation? Click here, documents, docs.fedoraproject.org. This includes the Fedora project, as was release notes, install guide, and more. Install guide. Installation guide. Man, it's in big letters. I don't have to worry about it. I could actually take my glasses off. Fedora has been around a while. They are a well-oiled machine, I would say. My opinion. I'm not real sure why I do not run Fedora on a regular basis. Every time I look at Fedora, I'm like, well, it's great. I mean, they have all these options and everything seems to work. Let me minimize this and see where our installer is at. It's performing a post-installation after the installation setup task. So it's now using setup by user diars and stuff is that. We got a little while here. We're about a third, maybe a fourth of the way finished here. So I'm going to just pause the video and I'll be back when it's finished or close to finished. Okay, I'm back and the installer is complete. Let me right Control F to get back in full screen here. And my only option is to finish the installation. Is it going to reboot me? Now, since we're in UEFI mode, it should have removed the ISO all by itself and boot right in the grub, and it does. Xfce. Same options as before. Failed to start hardware monitoring sensors. It's because we're in a virtual box. There's our mouse, and it's all the way across the screen. I need more than a mouse, though. Aha. The initial setup. That was the Anaconda. Alright, so it's going to put in my password, and it's using my capital D in my name, which is awesome. I see what appears to be a menu bar coming across the top there. There it is. Got our plank at the bottom. It looks like we're on go. Let me start here. We got the power on off button for the user. We got our clock. Let me change that. Let's change that to where it's just 12-hour time with PM. Our notifications. Our battery, if you was on a laptop, you would need that. But I'm in a VM and I don't really need it. We got our audio mixers working right out of the box. Definitely have sound. There's our internet connection. We are wired, and this is our updater, BNF Dragor. Let's see. Oh, there's a Fedora Live right there. It didn't it's still there. It didn't get rid of it. Pull that down there out of the way. File system, home. Let's see what's in our application menu. Okay, so we don't have the whisker. It's giving us the standard Xfce Desktop or Xfce Start menu. Let's start. DNF Dragora update. 416 updates are available. In fairness to Fedora and Xfce, I should probably do the updates before we look at it too much. But let's just start right here under administration. We have the DNF Dragora, that's the package manager you see over there. The updater, that's the little icon you see in the tray up there. Firewall, I'm not sure what Firewall, because all it does is say firewall. So I'm not sure. You click on their website. Oh, Mozilla Firefox. Try that. If that'll tell us. Give it a second. I see you. I'm not sure. I don't see the browser opening up. There it is. Firewall. Bus interface, firewall, firewalled, firewall D. Okay. But I guess I'll just call it Firewall D. That's what this is, okay. That's good that you got one, though. Got a firewall by default. Under administration, that was it. We got print settings, and we have language pack. Print settings by default, that's nice. Under accessories, we have the Catfish file search, application finder, which reminds me of the whisker menu. Accessories, we got the clipboard manager, got GNOME disk. Calculator, nice. Mousepad, Orage global time, password and keys, screenshot, Xarchiver, and Xfburn. Under development, we have Guinea. Documentation about Xfce. Graphics, we only have one listing under graphics, and that is the image viewer, the Ristretto image viewer. Nothing wrong with Ristretto, but I like to have a little more under graphics than just a picture viewer, but I can get that. Under internet, we got Claws Mail, Firefox, Pigeon Internet Messenger, and transmission for your torrent need. Under multimedia, we have the Asunder CD Ripper. I was just watching a video the other day with Isnix and him going to rip some CDs, get some more MP3s on his hard drives. Nice utility. Old guys like us know about CDs. Pro Media Player, Praga. I think that's a music player as well. Find out. Yep. Praga music player. No, goes out. Thank you. Yeah, this is GNOME disk. Goes out of that, and the application finder goes out of that. Go back up here to the menu. We were in multimedia. We had just finished that. Now the Office. We do not have LibreOffice. We do have a dictionary, a document viewer, Claws Mail, numeric, Orage calendar, and Orage global time. Under the system, bulk rename, Gparted, problem reporting. That's awesome to have that in the start menu, problem reporting. But people are not going to want to, people in general do not like reporting problems. They think it gets them involved. And sometimes they may not even know how or know that they're supposed to, but because that's in their menu, you will know that here is an option to report problems. Nice. The SE Linux Troubleshooter. Open it up under Systems. Troubleshooter, Task Manager, Thunar File Manager, Xfce Terminal, Xf Dashboard, and Xf Term. Alert Browser. Would you like to receive alerts? I'm going to turn that off just because I'm in a VM box. That's a pretty nice utility to have. Let's see. Sudo dnf install Omax GNOME system monitor Dashtop HTOP, and that's enough to start with. They ask me for my password, my root password. I give it to them. A sudo password, super user. I've noticed Fedora, it always defaults to giving you the N or no option. If you're not careful, you'll just hit enter and you'll cancel the installation. But they do that in order to make sure you're sure that you want to continue. So I'm going to type in a Y for yes and hit enter. And these are some small programs, so it shouldn't take too long. 183 megs. Download 668 megs in total installation size. So down at the bottom we got Plank, we got Thunar, Application Finder, that's the web browser, the terminal, and show the desktop. There's really not anything new on here to show. It stayed running. Let's quit that. That was the Praga. So when you close Praga out, it does not close. There's probably a setting in there. You would hope that there's a setting in there that'll tell it just to shut off instead of shut down to the systems tray. I wouldn't swear. While this is running, let's find out. That was under multimedia. Oops, wrong one. Volume control. Multimedia. Praga. Let's see. Tools. Preferences. Library. Audio. Appearance. General. Search. Restore. Desktop. Icon in the notification area. Do not minimize when closing windows. See, minimize Praga when closing windows. No. Close. Show album art and notification. Accents. Plugins. You got a lot of plugins you could add if you needed them. I'm going to say OK. Now let's see if it goes back up there. And it did not. This is DNF Dragora. You could actually exit off of that and set it to not run when you start. That's probably in settings, session, and startup. Let's see what kind of, while we're waiting on that, see if we got anything special here. I like the wallpaper. All right, fun and style. We got all kind of, we got art dark. Thank you. Gray bird. Fairly decent. Or is it this one? Yeah. That one's fairly decent. Offers a little contrast. Quite a bit of selection there. Icons. Not so much, but you can get them. Fonts. Alright. Settings. We're going to enable event sound just because I can. And no scaling. Let's see, we're through here yet on the download. Oh. Still running scripts. Setting manager, notifications, panel profiles, panel profiles. You can have a user use a GNOME profile or whatever profile they have set up in here. Screensaver, window manager, Windows tweak, XF dashboard settings, XF terminal, workspaces, Bluetooth by default, color profiles, and display, power manager, mouse, and touchpad. Let's see if we have any other mouses. Nope. We don't even have the white one. Got bigger so we both see it better. Maybe it'll get bigger. There, it got bigger. Alright, all settings. Movable drives. Let's see what they do here. Oh, I like to pick all three of those on so that when I hot plug in a USB drive, it shows up on my desktop. Sessions and startup. Now, application here, you can undo anything you don't want to run when it first comes on. Like right here, the updater for the DNF Dragora, that's right here. You could turn it off right here. It wouldn't start. Not that it won't start, but it wouldn't start up on when you reboot or power on your machine. A lot of this stuff you could probably just turn right off. And if you was on real hardware, I know you could. I mean, why should a printer stuff be running in the background when you're don't plan on printing? Okay. All right, let's go fast top. That'll tell us. It'll open. And my screen size was too little. Okay. Total installation size at this point was 5.23, and that was with me installing just those few programs real quick. Memory, we're using 906 megs. Which is kind of in line with the Xfce Desktop. We hadn't been just sitting here idle either. We've been going through the menu, and as you know, memory processes will stack up. All right, so what else? EFI boot's only using 20 megabytes, which is required at least 300, I believe. Let me get out of this. I think escape. Oh, Q. Control C. Control D. Control C had it. Let's see. Neofetch. Didn't I just install Neofetch? Huh. Sudo DNF install Neofetch. Thought I just did that. I guess I didn't. Password. My sudo password. What did I just install? Alright, again, it's going to default to N. If you're not careful, press Y and hit enter. What did I just install? Accessories. Full time. Oh, system monitor. Right here. That was one of the things. Resources. It says we're using a little over a gig. We got a download going on. We got the settings manager open and system monitor. And system monitor does use some. Okay, so now we got Neofetch. I think. Oh, better get on the right screen. Neofetch. And there we go. Fedora 33 Xfce 64-bit. Kernel's 5.8.15. We got 1,678 RPM packages installed at this point. The default theme, Graybird Dark. Fonts, monospace 12. All right. Nope, not found. That's for when you want to have a little fun occasionally. All right, it's going to say, yep. This should be a very small script. Should be complete. C matrix. And there it goes. Everything that I normally would use on an operating system is readily available. I can't imagine that Fedora, there's anybody that has a better support system than Fedora. They've been around a while. They're everywhere. And it is a good system. It's apparently a very solid system. And I can't make any excuses on why I have not ever just used it. I've dabbled in it some, but this is about as far as that went. I need to put this on my list. Fedora really is a good, I think. I might find out different if I installed it on hardware and then started, trying to do stuff. Did we go all the way through the menu? I think we did. It was pretty simple. There's not a lot installed by default, which is good. It really is. 611 megs HTOPs reported. 96 tasks, 137 threads, 1 running. Load average 0.30. Time 17 minutes. They have a huge repository, and DNF is a good package manager. So I think that's going to be it on this video. This is Fedora Xfce Spin. Thanks so much for watching. This has been a joy. Come back and see me. Peace. Bye.